This is the new ROLEX Daytona. I am finally holding it here in my hands, and we are going to take a closer look at the watch right now. We also address the most important questions I received from you in advance, like how does the new Daytona wear? Larger or smaller? What are the updates, compared to the predecessor? Which one is better or, worse? This one or the previous Daytona? Or in short, did Rolex make the Daytona even better? Or should they have just stuck with the old one? One thing up front though, I have a very clear opinion on which Daytona is the best, and I'm curious to see if you share this one or not at the end. So I would say let's get started. So first we're going to talk about the standard stuff, so the watch's dimensions, basic facts, and which wrists it fits or not. The Daytona I have here is the reference number 126-515 LN in rose gold with a ceramic bezel and on an Oysterflex bracelet. The first important question was how big is this watch? I mean, especially compared to the old one. And well, with the old Daytona, even though Rolex stated a diameter of 40mm, it still fits smaller wrists rather nicely, even though you could think that this is a rather large number. Therefore, many speculated that the new Daytona would wear a bit larger than that, but good thing is I can reassure you, in my opinion, the Daytona wears the same size as the old one. On this 165mm wrist, the watch sits just right in my opinion. Any wrist sizes between 150mm and up to even like 200mm will certainly also look great with this watch, and I think others are just a matter of personal taste. Right, let's continue with point number 2, updates on the case and on the dial. Rolex has not changed the overall, appearance, but there are still some changes to minor details. For the first time, the ceramic inlay is now encased in a metal ring, similar to other sports models. In this case, it is a rose gold bezel that frames the ceramic inlay. Typically for Rolex and their attention to detail, they have included this edge on the metal ring. The ceramic bezel looks a bit slimmer than before, and there are 2 important changes on the dial. Well, firstly, the indices are notably slimmer. In terms of looks, it is reminiscent of the Daytonas with the zenith movements produced from the mid-80s up to the year 2000. And secondly, the sub-dial circles are now a bit thinner. But purely, visually, that is it with the differences here. However, there are some other important differences not immediately noticeable. So, if you're familiar with Rolex, you notice that the 116 in the Daytona reference was replaced by 126, and you might already suspect correctly a new movement has been installed. So, do you know how long the previous Daytona movement was used? Well, hold on tight, for over 22 years. So, since the year 2000, it was the 41-30 movement until now. From now on, it's the 41-31 movement. But what has changed exactly? Well, the following 3 changes have been made. Firstly, the rotor is skeletonized and is now held by 22 bolts in the bearing instead of the previous 7. Secondly, the Paraflex shock absorber makes the movement even less susceptible to shocks. And finally, the third thing is Rolex introduces its chronology escapement here. It is supposed to be more efficient and thus, better at transferring the energy from the mainspring to the movement. And, that's all nice and well, but what does it really mean for you as a wearer? Well, in short, nothing really changes because you don't see the movement except for the Platinum Daytona and the Le Mans edition, and everything else is not really something that you notice in everyday use. But there's another very important point that I haven't read about anywhere else yet. Rolex has changed something on the Oysterflex bracelets, or more precisely on the clasp. Previous Oysterflex Daytonas had a quick link extension. This allows the bracelet to be extended or shortened by 5mm without tools. Very cool for the summer or winter when, wrists tend to fluctuate in size. But do you notice something? Well, the clasp of the new Daytona on the Oysterflex bracelet is longer than the old one. So what could be the reason for this? Well, when Rolex makes their clasps longer, it usually means one thing: there is a larger quick link adjustment, and that's the case here too. So the Daytona on the Oysterflex band now has a glide lock quick link adjustment, where the length of the bracelet can now be changed by up to almost 2 cm. This is especially great because the Oysterflex bracelet cannot be further shortened otherwise. So this also explains why the Oysterflex Daytona is the only new Daytona with a glide lock. Now we've got that covered, let's move on to what I like and don't like about the new Daytona. And let's start with things that I like about it. I have to mention the glide lock here. It is really comfortable and a useful, change, and even allows my husband and me to both wear the watch without having to change the bracelet, which is just very cool. And if I apply some girl math here, it's, 2 watches for the price of 1. I don't know, things like that are always a big thing in my book, and I just wish more watches were, capable of that too. But now let's talk about the things that I, dislike about it. So the only thing I don't like about the Daytona is that as a novelty from Rolex, the availability is currently not that great. The ROLEX Daytonas are almost back at the retail price, and I hope they will fall even further so that they can be easily bought on the grey market. But because there are always, some impatient buyers for new releases, the first models are now on the internet for like 10 to 20,000 even above the retail price. Which means you have to be a bit more patient. Otherwise, I really have nothing else to complain about. So that begs the question, which one is better now? The old one or the new Daytona? Did Rolex manage to make the Rolex that is perfect for many even better, or was the new Daytona, a step in the wrong direction? I would say we should start from the beginning here. You guys have been asking me this question since it was released in March 2023, and I haven't really given a definite answer because I wanted to wear it and just see and test the watch myself first, with lots of other things and watches as well. It's not always easy to tell from just pictures. So now that I have seen it, I've tested it, worn it, I can honestly say that the new Daytona really is fantastic. Rolex is sometimes criticized for not making many changes to their models and still selling them as a new watch. But in my opinion, there are different reasons to criticize Rolex, especially when it comes to the sometimes not so great service at ADs. But, as I said, sometimes, not always. But when it comes to model updates, Rolex reminds me a lot of Porsche. Many other manufacturers change too much, too quickly, all at once, especially when I think of, Breitling, for example, with the Super Ocean, or even Navitimer, where many, lovers of the brand say and think that the new Navitimer is too different from the old one and just kind of loses its identity and recognizability. Rolex has always taken their time here. So in this case, the new Rolex is clearly a Daytona without doubt, but it somehow looks quite different, and that's pretty cool, I think. So in my opinion, the new Daytona looks even a little bit more like precious or valuable than the predecessors. The metal ring around the bezel really contributes to this a lot, and it just looks cool in real life. It's hard to describe if you see pictures of it. And then you've got the subtle references to the Zenith Daytona with the slip indices, which in my opinion make the watch appear more elegant. So if I had to choose, I would definitely take the new Daytona. Rolex has managed to really surpass perhaps the perfect Rolex with a new one, this one. So what do you guys think about the new Daytona? Is it an improvement? Would you say it is better or worse than the old one? I would love to hear it from you in the comments down below. And that is really all I have for you guys today. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like that, I recommend subscribing to my channel. I will put out watch videos every week, watch related content and reviews like this one. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye!